Good evening, folks. Welcome back to the channel. It's great to see you. It always is. I hope you're doing well. We have reached the finals over in China. Just the two for us to go through today. Two of the best. You may say it shouldn't take that much time at all. Make sure you get your comments in with your predictions. Anything I'm going for personally will be in that pinned comment. Feel free to take a look at that. You are more than welcome to. Take it if you want. Leave it if you must. It's entirely up to you. The choice is yours. But do like the video. If you'd be so kind, get yourself subscribed to the channel. If you're not already, I'd appreciate it very much. We continue to grow each and every day. It'd be an honour to welcome you to the team. But very well, now that's out the way. Quick recap time. Time for the recap. How did we all get on in the semi-finals? Did we win? Did we lose? Did we just come close? Most importantly, did we enjoy the tennis? Couple of decent matches, decent results, decent games. And another day, another winner for me. Two in a row, I'll have that. I will most certainly take that. One for the money, two for the show, and see if we can finish up rather nicely today. It's all to play for, folks. There's still a couple games left. We'll see what we can do. I'm pretty sure there's something there. There always is. But let me know. Share with the group. Don't be shy. And we'll waste no more time with it. Let's get right into business, folks. Let's get it on. First off is going to be Lorenzo Musetti, and he's taken on Alejandro Tabilo. It's the final we expected, and it's absolutely the final we well and truly deserve. Two of these have been fantastic all week. I have to say I've been a lot more impressed with Alejandro Tabilo. This has kind of come out of nowhere. I know he did do well over on the Challenger Tour last week. I thought, you know what, I'll hang fire. I'll see how he gets on over in the main draw. He's been just as good, if not better. In fact, he's been flawless. The first serve has been immaculate from Alejandro Tabilo. Not only that, the second serve, this guy's barely double faulted. The double faults have been at a minimum. Everything's been perfect. Everything's been right. Had a bit of a scare against Christopher O'Connell. You know, he took a set. But apart from that, he ain't really looked like losing. He hasn't really looked like losing. Whatever he's discovered has been too much for, well, pretty much everyone. Pretty much everyone since we've come over to the Asian swing, apart from JM Sarundalo. But that's neither here nor there. Back-to-back finals for Tabilo, and he deserves it. The way he's playing, fantastic. Not a lot many can do against the lefty game of the Chilean at the moment, folks. It's working well over on these quick courts in Chengdu. Come through qualifying, dropped a set to Lloyd Harris, then come over to the main draw, made light work of Jordan Thompson, light work of Darderi. Like I said, had his toughest test so far against Christopher O'Connell. Managed to come back and win that one. And then a couple of concerns coming into the match with Binak. He was a dog coming into that one. Weren't too sure how he was going to hold up. I thought, was the match against Christopher O'Connell, was that a sign? Is that going to be the turning point of, a bit of fatigue, whatnot? Will he drop another set? How's it going to go? And I don't know about you, I feel like he put in his best performance so far. He really did. First serve, untouchable. Didn't even face a break point. Brandon Nakashima stood no chance. And are we really surprised? I mean, he's been doing this to everyone. He's done this to everyone. He's I don't know what it is. I don't know what he's found or what he's done. But I did not expect this. I expected nothing along the lines of this from Alejandro Tabilo. Even with him getting to the final on the Challenger Tour, I'll still be honest. I'm not going to say I didn't give him much of a chance. Because if you just got to the final, you've got a bit of momentum. I would expect you to get at least a couple of wins, at least get through qualifying, what have you. Get to the final? Probably not. I probably wouldn't have said that at the start of the tournament. So, tip of the cap to Alejandro Tabilo. He absolutely deserves to be here. And like I said, I've been more impressed. Purely because I didn't expect it. Lorenzo Musetti. Now, I have been impressed with Musetti. He's been flawless too. But we kind of expected a lot more from these top 10 guys. And let's not forget, Lorenzo Musetti is a top 10. Kind of plays like a top 5. Ultimately, he's one of the best tennis players in the world at the moment. Now, how much of that was to do with, his ability on the clay, I weren't too sure. Especially after the injury, the comeback, it weren't too promising. But now he's back to fitness. He had a decent run in the US Open. And now we're back in Chengdu. Semi-final 2 years ago. Final last year. We said it yesterday and I'll say it again for one last time over in China. I think he's good for the title. Get him around 1.35, 1.4 if you're very lucky. I kind of expected it. Obviously, we expected him to be a favourite. Getting a really good price for Tabilo, man. It's over 2 to 1. It's around 3.3, 3.4. Is that disrespectful? Probably not. Although he's been playing the way he's been playing. And statistically as well, I think he's been outperforming the likes of Lorenzo Musetti. I really do. Um, Maybe he's had to. Maybe it won't mean much coming into this, but like I say, that first save is yet to falter. It's still intact. I feel like I've kind of been waiting for it to have a bit of a dip as the weeks went on. But like I say, it looked better than ever against Brandon Nakashima. If he can do that, I fear there may not be a lot Lorenzo Musetti can do against that. Um, it's just my heart says Tabilo. It's a rough one. It's one of them. I'd love Tabilo to win this. I would. Would I love him to win it more than Musetti? I'm not too sure. Has Musetti won a title this season? I don't think he has. He not won a title all year? I don't think he has. I'm pretty certain he has not won a title all year, which is fucking nuts in it when you think about it. You think about it, then again, he kind of only. It's unfortunate he snapped into form over in like the Clay Masters, weren't it? Bumping into Alcaraz in the final, Draper in the semi-finals, Alcaraz in the semi-final in Rome, going into the French Open, Alcaraz in the semi-final again. Either won fucking major titles, wouldn't he? How many titles would he have won if he'd have been playing like this from the start of the season? That's unfortunate, isn't it? Alcaraz 3 times in a row, man. Lorenzo Musetti may as well, like, he literally could have got himself a Monte Carlo at Rome and maybe, just maybe, a French Open. You never know. He was playing at that kind of level. Um, you would have to sit here and assume he's got more than enough to take out Alejandro Tabilo. Although we're not on the clay anymore, we kind of skewed off track. I was kind of bewildered by the fact he hadn't got himself a title. Maybe he'll get this one. He should be good for this one. He's been edging closer and closer as the seasons have gone on. Um, I've been impressed. Been impressed with Musetti. He tends to play good everywhere. That's what I was. That was my point. The damage he does on the clay, it's kind of translated over to the hard court now. And I did have a couple of question marks regarding the hard court ability comparing it to the clay. But I've seen enough in the US Open. Bumped into Yannick Sinner. Nothing you can do there, unfortunately. Then coming to Chengdu, if he didn't possess a hard court game, then he wouldn't continue to thrive in what is essentially one of the quicker surfaces that we've got on the ATP Tour. He's looked fine. The one-handed backhand, it's always a concern. It's always a concern that I've got. It hasn't been a problem. It hasn't been an issue. As a matter of fact, it's been shit hot over in Chengdu. So that was another thing that I've sort of. We'll mention this and then we'll move on to the next one. I don't want to read into it too much, but I kind of keep sitting here thinking, the lefty game that Tabilo does possess. Them big saves, man, them saves have been fantastic. You can't fault them. They've been coming in hot, they really have. There's a lot of swoop on them as well. Saving to that backhand, the Lorenzo Musetti. I think he's going to ask the question. He'll be asking the question a lot more of that backhand. That's for sure, just by the nature of the left-handedness, We'll see how he gets on. Like I say, Musetti's been fine. He hasn't struggled yet. But then again, Dino Prismic, he did take a set. Whether Musetti was just kind of finding his feet over in Chengdu, we hadn't seen him play since the US Open. He did manage to get it done, but we'll chalk it off to that. Fantastic. Against Basilashvili, he posed a bit of a threat too. Stood no chance. Stood no chance. And the game against Shevchenko, man. They had Shevchenko on the line there. I think it was like over 8.5 games won. Didn't even win half of them. Well, he did. He won 4. 6-3, 6-1. No chance. No chance. That's what you got. How much of a chance does Alejandro Tabilo stand against Lorenzo Musetti today? I'd say he stands more of a chance than anyone he's faced so far. Musetti, that is. Neither opponent so far in Chengdu has been playing as deadly as Alejandro Tabilo. Not one of them. He most definitely could turn up. And I'm not saying he's going to turn up and win. Everyone's in with a chance. I am fully expecting Musetti to win this, but I wouldn't be that shocked. Would you be that shocked if Tabilo was to turn up and surprise everyone today? Maybe nick a set. At the bare minimum, keep it close. Spread is 3.5. It's kind of favouring Tabilo as well. 1.8 for Tabilo on the 3.5, 1.9 for Musetti minus the games. You get Musetti around 1.3. And now I know we took Musetti and Bublik on the double yesterday. That seemed it's a bit of a cop out, but it won. And a win's a win, you know what I mean? I ain't complaining with a win, even just because it went plus money. Probably could do the same again today. Price will be more or less the same, 1.75. It's up to you, I mean, that could be the easy bet, rinse and repeat if you want to go back to the well. Musetti at 1.3. in a weird way, I'm kind of sitting here saying I don't want to say the word, but for the lack of a better phrase, given what I've seen from Tabilo, that seems just a little bit disrespectful. I think he's been playing better. He's been playing at a level to warrant a better price than a 3.4 dog anyway. But that's just my opinion. As always in a final, I would like to assume the underdog, regardless of the price, especially when one has played as well as Alejandro Tabilo has this week, will turn up and give it us all. It's still all to play for, and it all comes down to today. You're in the final. Price means nothing to these players. You may as well just go and win it. May as well just go and win it. Whatever Tabilo's got, it's been working, and it's been more than working. It's been super efficient. A bit too efficient, I've been a bit concerned. I'm like, oh god, like, is he just been like overplaying? This is nothing like I've seen all season prior to this tournament or prior to the Asian swing, like we mentioned. He'd done nothing. And it's come out of nowhere. But you can't deny what you see. It passes the eye test in every way, every which way you want it to, with flying colours. I do like 3.4. I could most definitely make an argument to get there with Alejandro Tabilo today, but deep down, I think Musetti's just a different class. I think he's just a class above, maybe a couple of classes above. He's top 10 for a reason, man. He's top 10 for a reason. Tabilo's kind of playing like a top 10 player at the moment. He really is, but Musetti's Musetti. And if he wins this one, I won't be surprised. If Tabilo was to turn up and pull off the upset, it would feel like an upset to me, regardless of how good he's been playing this week. He's been fantastic. He deserves to be in the final. I think he deserves the title. I really do. Considering he's been shit all year, he probably wouldn't mind me saying that. He'd probably agree himself. He ain't been that good this year. It'd be great if he can get himself this title. I'm not against it. But as a parlay piece, if you can get that at 1.4, pair it with something else, Lorenzo Musetti would be the parlay piece for me, folks. It'd be the parlay piece. I don't know about the spread. I don't know about the total. Could go either way. If we'd have seen this matchup any other time throughout the year, or pretty much any other season, you'd have taken Musetti and probably wouldn't have thought twice about it. They've played each other once before, back in 2021 on the clay. 6-2 in a bail from Musetti. Food for thought. It means absolutely nothing coming into this. And I'll leave you with that. I'd be leaning towards Musetti. If you can get him at 1.4 as a parlay piece, I think he's good for this title, folks, don't you? I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think. Right then, folks, we'll wrap this shit up one last time. Over in China, we've got Valentin Roya, and he's taking on Alexander Bublik. Who's it going to be? I can't wait for this. I think this is going to be very, very entertaining. This is going to be one of them matches that's played at 100 miles an hour. I can just see it. Gotta give you credit. Gotta give some flowers to Valentin Roya here, folks, haven't you? Who'd have thought? Certainly not me. Now, I am aware that this guy has had quite a successful campaign over on the clay this season on the Challenger Tour. But if I'm being honest, I was rather unfamiliar with the hard court abilities of Valentin Roya prior to this tournament. I mean, there was not much to suggest he was going to go off the way he's done. I wouldn't have said to you at the start he was going to make it to the final. Probably wouldn't have thought he'd have got anywhere close. But you can't say he doesn't deserve to be here. He's been too much for everyone. He's been too much. And it's been anything but easy. It's been 2 or 3 times where he's dropped a set. It looked like the tables may have started to turn. But no, Valentin Roya has remained tenacious. He's too aggressive. Keeps that foot on the gas. Does not give up. And I always say, if you never give up, you can never truly be beaten. But he's got to take on Alexander Bublik. Alexander Bublik, this is probably one of the last players, the last fella that you want to see across the net. He's just doing what he does. He continues to do what he does. And pretty much it feels like what we've seen him do forever now. He's been playing that good for so long. I've kind of forgot how bad he was struggling at the start of the season. Most definitely redeemed himself. He'll be going for the 4th title for this season. 4th? 3rd? 4th, I think. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure this will be number 4. And correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure Alexander Bublik's in with a shot of reaching the finals at the end of the year. That'd be something. I'd love to see that. I really would. So there's still a lot to play for Alexander Bublik. No one's come close. We were saying no one's really come close to Valentin Roya, but look, Alexander Bublik's played 3 matches. Vukic, Zvesina, Wu. Yet to drop a serve. No one's took the serve off him. Not only that, he's faced just the one break point. One solitary break point. And that was against Vesina. out of all of them as well. That absolute arse whipping to Vecina, and he was the only one who threatened somewhat of a break. He did drop a set to Vukic, that was a tie break. Didn't drop a save, came back, took control, bullied Vecina, turned up and just made light work of Wu. We've seen it for what feels like months now. There's not a lot you can do when Bublik's playing like this. Not a lot. You've just got to sit there and hope for the best. Hope for him to just have one hell of a drop-off, or maybe just hope that he pulls out to the match date. They're your two best bets if you're Valentin Royer. But I don't know, I kind of think he'd have something to say about that. There's been one or two times that I've been concerned of it. Maybe not so much the fitness, but, well, I suppose, yeah, the fitness of Valentin Royer. I've never seen him get this far. I've never seen him play this good. I don't really know how he's going to hold up in the final. I thought he may have been a bit gassed after the match with Lena Tien going into the semis with Musetti. No. Like I said, he looked fresh as a daisy. Barely put a foot wrong. Saves on point. Second saves on points. Just everything's working for him. Double faults are at a minimum. But Alexander Bublik, man, I mean, look, Musetti, Tien, Rublev, Kovacevic, Spazzeri, Chen. It's fine. It's more than fine. It's fantastic from Valentin Royer. Like I said, it was very unexpected. Not one of them possessed the firepower of Alexander Bublik. I'd even go as far to say the ability at the moment, because Bublik's playing 10 times better than any of them. He's got the firepower. Valentin Royer possesses the firepower as well. This is the other thing. Although he will most definitely be able to hit with Alexander Bublik, I highly doubt Valentin Royer is going to be able to hit through him. Who can? I think Alexander Bublik, he definitely serves bigger. He probably hits bigger and better than pretty much anyone else on the tour. He definitely hits as hard as anyone, probably just a bit harder. We'll see how he deals with that. With Valentin Royer being 6 games in, this will be the 7th match. This always has to come into play. I hate being the one to mention it, but the fatigue does tend to set in more often than not. And I mean, 6-7 games in, if it was, I hope it doesn't, but if it was to set in, you wouldn't really be that surprised, would you? You'd go, oh, fair play. It is what it is. He's played a lot. He's operated at a very high level for quite some time. The worst thing that could happen for Valentin Royer in a match like this, and if fatigue is to set in, it's more likely to be against someone like this. You know, the medical timeouts, the court time. If that was to accumulate, I could see it begin to come crumbling down. I hope that's not the case, but I think the first thing to go in a case like this would be that first serve. And if you lose that first serve potency, you're not going to beat Alexander Bublik on your second serve. I've been saying it all week. You're not going to beat anyone at this level on your second serve. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's food for thought. If we see a bit of a power drop off due to the fatigue from Valentin Royer, providing that's it, the way it's going to go, I don't see it ending well. You cannot afford a power drop off against Bublik. I don't see him getting tired. Yeah, he's too much. He's too much for everyone. The serve is too potent. The power is too lethal. The baseline game, pretty much just everything from Bublik the past few months has been electric. Is there anything that this lad can't do? I would have to fancy him to get this title. I would have to fancy him to get this one done. Once again, I'm not against Valentin Royer turning up and pulling off the upsets here. As a matter of fact, I think it'd be fantastic to see. I'd love to see it, I really would. He's very deserving of it. You have to give him that. But he's got one last task. And it's absolutely the toughest task that he's probably faced all season. Absolutely this week. Who's it going to be? I think Valentin Royer is in a good spot, riding the momentum and the confidence into this one. You've got this far, you may as well just go and win it. That goes for the pair of them. I would have to side with Alexander Bublik based on what I know and what I've seen. I mean, he's been pretty decent in finals this season, has he not? Somewhat unstoppable. I think he's taken out much more lethal opponents than a Valentin Royer as well along the way to where we are now. So I'll just leave that one where it is. I'll be going with Alexander Bublik. As always in a final, you've had two players absolutely flying until the ultimately clash. I would like to assume we're in for maybe a tightly contested game. If the two of them serve well, maybe a tiebreaker. You could get an over. You're getting 22.5 on the total. Spread is 3.5. I'm not too sure how I feel about that. I think it's coverable either way. I'd have to just go with Bublik. I would love the fairy tale to continue, But the fairy tale's got to end one way or another. He either gets himself the title or he doesn't. And even if he doesn't, there's no shame in it. He's had one hell of a run. But unfortunately for Valentin Royer, I can't help but feel like it all comes to an end today. Give me Alexander Bublik. 1.3 is a very steep parlay piece. If only that. It's just a steep parlay piece, but I would have to assume he wraps this one up today. Very well then, folks, that shall do us once again, one last time for over in China. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's been a decent week. I've enjoyed these tournaments this week. We've had some really good matches. I always do enjoy the Asian swing. But there's still more tennis to be played. Where are we off to next? Tokyo? Beijing? Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Can't wait for it. And I'll see you there. You know that. It's always an absolute pleasure talking to you folks. You mean a lot to me. Stay involved. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you watching the show. Make sure you like and subscribe before you go. And I'd appreciate that too. But very well then. Very well. You make sure you take it easy, yeah? You take care of yourselves. You take care of one another. Most important thing. Let me know what you're going for today, if you're going for anything at all. Anything for qualifying for the next two. Make sure you get on me. Share with the group. Don't be shy. Anything I'm taking, you know where that's going to be. That's right. In that pinned comment. Correct, sir. Correct you are. But I'll be seeing you around, folks. Until next time, best of luck today. However you decide to go about your business. Enjoy the matches. See you tomorrow.